Now we're on to my second video about the few but annoying things on my Las Vegas trip. Specifically, I want to talk about Vegas's public relations image versus the way it actually is, or at least what I saw when I was down there. In other words, I have issues with how they market to tourists. The first issue is downtown Las Vegas. Now, it's easy to confuse this with the more famous Vegas Strip, where the vast majority of the tourism and casinos lie, but the real downtown Vegas is a little further north. The main attraction there is the Fremont Street Experience, which is basically a giant video screen over top a pedestrian mall. This mall consists of tacky gift shops, old hotels, and, you guessed it, old casinos. Other than that, there is nothing worth seeing. A mini-mall called the Neonopolis is almost totally empty. The so-called Neon Museum is just a handful of old signs in the middle of the street, despite what all the websites and tourism signs say, and pretty much everything else that Vegas claims is in that area is nowhere near it as far as I can tell. So simply put, aside from the part of Fremont Street that's been cleaned up and given a fancy jumbotron, the whole area is pretty much a ghost town. It's kind of like going to a local carnival. It might be fun at night for a couple of hours, but if you're stuck there all day, it gets boring and depressing really quickly. To be honest, I'm a bit puzzled as to why this is the case. Vegas is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, and even in that area, the casinos attract a ton of business. So there must be some kind of solid economy. So why the rundown buildings? Why the empty lots? Why the signage that was only trendy when the Rat Pack was still around? There are casinos on Fremont, like the Golden Nugget and the Golden Gate, that have managed to balance being attractive with being nostalgic. It just takes a bit of forward thinking. Heck, all it would take to fix the plaza is a simple font change. If you can afford to run a huge building with a ton of neon lights on, I'm sure you can afford a new sign. The other thing is this idea that Vegas has had for 10 or 15 years to try and make Sin City look family-friendly. Yeah, it's a bit like putting Mickey Mouse in the red light district. Why do I say that? Well, because if you walk down the strip during most of the day or night, then literally every 100 feet you will be approached by some gangsta types who will be slapping carts for escort services in your face. To be fair, they'll leave you alone if you ignore them or politely say no, but still. For that matter, what about the dispensers of softcore porn that you run into more often than the newspapers in any other city? What about the strip clubs that are right in the middle of that wonderful Fremont Street? Or the nude and profane t-shirts in the gift shop windows? I could go on, but suffice it to say, when the locals take this family-friendly thing seriously, so will I. Now look, I loved being in Vegas, but when it comes to trying to present itself as clean-cut as well as titillating, it has a lot of work left to do. Like any. Putting a few roller coasters and arcades on the strip isn't going to automatically make it tame, and frankly, it's not like the most annoying problems are hard to find. I may dislike my own hometown a lot, but even Hamilton at least tries to take some pride in itself. That's it for me.